Tracking Hurricane Jose, which is a Category 1 hurricane. Jose currently has 80 mile an hour sustained winds and is moving currently southwest. But keep in mind, Jose did some really funky maneuvers. It was moving northwest, moving west, then it turned northwest, then it turned north, then it turned northeast, and then east, and then it's doing a complete loop right now, complete 180. Actually, a complete 360. I'm sorry, 360. 180 is a half circle, so that's 90. That's 180. Yeah, that's a 360. Wow, that's a complete 180, a complete 360 degree turn. That's a complete circle. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Because, most tropical systems don't do that. Yes, there've been a few, but it's very rare. You don't get that every year. You get that once every few years for tropical systems to do that in the Atlantic. The last tropical system to do something like that, I believe, was Hurricane Jeanne. Jeanne, Jeanne, ended up impacting Florida as a hurricane. It was a hurricane, then it did a loop over the ocean as a tropical depression. It went over its own wake and did exactly what Jose is doing right now. It's weakening. But Jose is maintaining its strength. It's maintaining hurricane strength. Jeanne actually went down to tropical depression status. And it's still re-strengthened back into a pretty formidable hurricane. Became a Category 3, then weakened to a Category 2 right at landfall. But then again, Jeanne was a little further south. But it was over basically the same water temperatures Jose is right now. And here's the thing, both were J storms, J-named storms, and they're all doing the same thing. Though it was 13 years ago. That was the only difference, it was the years, that's all. This happened back in 2004. And then in 2008, we had something similar. Hurricane Hannah, of all things, did something similar. It hit Haiti. It dropped a lot of rain to Haiti because it kind of looped around Haiti and then ended up going northwest. Jeanne also brought significant flooding to Haiti. It was also the interaction with Haiti that weakened Jeanne. Though not directly impacting, it skirted the northern coast of Haiti, brought a lot of flooding rains there. Actually, Hurricane Jeanne killed far more people in Haiti than it did in Florida, though it was much stronger in Florida. The reason Jeanne killed so many in Haiti is because of landslides, mudslides, lack of vegetation there. People were stripping trees there, stripping vegetation. So that's the cause of all the destruction in Haiti. But it's also the rainfall. But speaking of Jose, Jeanne, was a tropical depression before it was straightened back from a hurricane. Jose is maintaining hurricane strength and is expected to spend several days over the Gulf Stream, some of the warmest waters in the Atlantic. That's really warm. Hurricanes, storms that go out to sea northeastward become Category 3s and 4s. They go over water temperatures several degrees colder than what Jose is going to spend a lot of time over. Remember Hurricane Gert this year? Gert actually became a Category 3. It had a perfect symmetrical eye. It definitely became a major hurricane. I bet if the hurricane hunters went in the storm, they probably would have found pressures in the 930s, probably 120, 125 mile an hour winds. It wasn't at 2. I think there's something wrong with the satellite that, because it really underestimated the wind speed. Anyway, Gert looked a lot like Hurricane Alex. Some storms become hurricanes even at 40 degrees north latitude. There have been some hurricanes in the Atlantic that formed as far north as New York City that became hurricanes because of all the warm waters that's in the Gulf Stream. And it wasn't even in the 80s, it was in the high 70s, 79, 80 degrees. That's warm enough to support a hurricane. It is. But once you go below 79, you don't have the strength, the temperature to support a developing hurricane. You could support a hurricane maybe up to about 75 degrees. Once you go below that, you won't even support a tropical storm, basically. You might support a weak one, but you won't support a tropical storm. Sometimes in 75, 76 degree waters, you could get a subtropical storm, but that's pretty unusual. Anyway, there's several different tracks. All depends on where area of high pressure will go. Some models are saying it's going to go northwestward. Some are saying it's going to go directly northwest. Some are saying northeastward. Some are saying it's going to go north and northeast, and like seemingly go out to sea and then hook back in. And then at the last moment, hook back out. Some of them saying it's going to go northwest, then northeast, and then continue to go northwest, and then hit land, almost like Sandy. There are so many different tracks right now. I can't even begin to tell you every single one. But just letting you know, the amount of possibilities are endless right now. Anything can happen with Jose. We might get weather like this from Jose: clouds, no wind, or we might get a full-blown hurricane. Who knows right now at this point? But the big factor is an area of high pressure that's over Mexico right now. Canada, over Canada. Will the high influence the hurricane enough to send it out to sea or send it back west, or will the high weaken, which will cause the storm to go out to sea? The steering current's weak, so it's not going to just zip on out of here. It's going to be pretty slow. But if an area of low pressure undercuts the high, causes a weakening in the high, there's a potential that Jose could take that path and then get absorbed by that low that the high weakened, that weakened the high. However, that low might end up going further north, weaken the high, cause the storm to go out, and then the other high will quickly, close the gap and cause the storm to go back west. That's also a possibility. Or the high might be so slow to move out that it might move out, but then it could back in again, which causes the storm to go back northwest or just up the coast. But the general trend is for Jose to trend a little closer to the coast. Maybe we won't get a direct hit, but we will get some wind and rain, maybe some beach erosion. So I can't right now forecast where Jose is going to go. It's way too uncertain. But I'm going to let you know that there is a possibility of some impact here. Earlier I've been saying it's going to go out to sea, but now it's trending the other way. It could go back again to being harmlessly out to sea, and that's what will end up happening. But I can't guarantee that right now. It's way too complicated. All the models, some of the most reliable models, have been flip-flopping back and forth. But I'm still sticking with my prediction that it's going to go out to sea. And the models have been flipping between hitting the East Coast and then going out, hitting, then going back out. Now the trend this morning is back a little further east, especially with the Euro. I'm going with the Euro. Well, with the GFS I'm actually going. And the GFS has been pretty consistent, operational-wise, as keeping the storm out to sea. But the GFS ensembles, which shows the average, it's trending a little further west now. That's a little concerning. But I think that, that's a 60 run. That's not the most reliable run. So I'll check with the midday run, which I believe will be further east. Well, thank you for watching. Bye.